From the Cleary Alumni Center on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, it's the Mike Schmidt Football Show. Brought to you by Honda Motorworks, your electric and hybrid headquarters at 4th and Cass. By Schilling Supply, serving businesses with critical supplies since 1897. By Schumacher Kish Cremation and Funeral Services in La Crosse, La Crescent, and Onalaska. By 360 Real Estate Solutions, they've got the keys to your new home. And by Market & Johnson, Western Wisconsin's construction leader, adding value to everything they do. Now, here's the host of today's program, Terry Erickson.
Welcome to UW La Crosse. We are in the Cleary and Friends Alumni Center for the weekly Mike Schmidt Football Show here on KQEG. The show is live on the stream and played back each Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. as we do each week. We want to pay recognition to our sponsors, Schilling Supply, Honda Motorworks, Schumacher Kish Funeral Homes, 360 Real Estate, and Market & Johnson. We also want to acknowledge guests. We appreciate you watching the show, guests that are here live and in support of Coach Schmidt and Eagle football. So thanks for being with us. Now the star of the show, Coach Mike Schmidt. Good. You said, quote, they are good. They are one of the best teams in the country. Of course, that's a little quite obvious, I think. But you also said that their defense was really their identity. You said that 9 out of their 10 players back on defense. I think 8 out of the 11 on offense. But then I heard somebody say just a few hours ago that you are not, that UW La Crosse is not at the level of maybe Oshkosh and Whitewater, that it's like maybe men against boys, that you're a ways away. I absolutely 100% disagree. I think you are almost there. You're on the threshold, you're on the doorstep. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting trying to accomplish here. I mean, we want to be a conference championship team, and you know, I think last year you look and we picked off one of those teams in the top 10 team in Platteville last year and put ourselves in that discussion, and then this year you always want to kind of keep that march going and pick off another one of those top teams, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that on Saturday, and I think the opportunities to win that game were certainly there for our football team, but you can just see some of our mistakes that we made, really self-inflicted mistakes, and you know, as a coach you always look inward on that. You get pretty introspective and say that I got to do a better job and get our guys ready to play. But I mean, a lot of those mistakes, freshmen, sophomores, you know, guys that are playing in some of their first games, and we will reap those benefits, as we keep saying. You just hope that you can get those sooner than what we had.
Here's one of the most, you have a lot of good quotes, sound bites, but here's one of the most profound things before we get into the game. You said this, quote, you said the team was ready to play, they were not ready to win. Yep. You said the mistakes that were made, and Colton pointed them out in the paper, and we all know the mistakes. Red zone failures and so on. Yep. You said the mistakes are on me. You didn't blame the officials. You didn't blame the conditions. You didn't blame your players. You didn't blame any of those. Whereas when I watch broadcasts and shows, a lot of that is deflected onto coaches don't accept the blame. Yeah. Now, for our viewers and for people here, that it really is a powerful statement. It says what you're all about.
Well, it's true. I mean, as the head coach, you're responsible for that stuff, and you're responsible to make sure, you know, it might be a play that could work or might be a thing that could work, but if your players can't execute it or don't execute it or whatever the case might be, then that's your fault. Don't run that play or don't call that play or don't put them in that kind of situation or position. And that's what I felt like I did in the first half a little bit, was put our team in some tough spots, I thought, on a couple of things. And you know, I think all the time you win these games and you say, well, let's get really tough on these guys and we're not going to accept this. And, you know, sometimes coaches will say, we got to get more discipline. And and that might be true, and what we have to get done. But in no way are we going to say, throw it all out, let's start over, let's rethink where we're at. Nah, I don't buy that. I think let's go back to what we do really well, and let's just get better at that. And that starts with me as the head coach to get them ready and get our guys in a position that they can compete and execute those things.
That's a cultural point that everyone needs to kind of think about. Well, let's real quickly, early in the first, 51-yard run by Mitch Gerhardt, tough runner, 111 yards, 1 TD. Then as time ran out, 8-yard pass Shramsky to Devontae Amos,
Yes.
8 yards, and by the way, second TD in 2 games. And 7-7 after 1.
Yeah, you look at it, and we were hoping that we'd have a bigger advantage with the wind there. I mean, for the guys, the people that weren't watching or weren't there, I mean, it was legitimately a 40-mile-an-hour wind. It's probably the worst wind conditions that I've been a part of as a coach. And trying to play that, you have to come up. You have to be in the lead when you have the wind. And we come out tied 7-7 after 1, and we had opportunities. We miss a field goal, in that spot where we were inside the 5. And when we were going to go for it for sure down there, we were going to go for it. Then we get sacked and it pushes us out. We miss the field goal, come up with no points. Then Devontae just competes like crazy on a 4th down play. We get that thing. And, it just, with the wind, we needed to have a better quarter there you come out tied, but now you're going to shift and not have the wind. And it was going to be such a tough day throwing into that thing.
2 scores for the Titans in the second quarter. Kyle Radovich to Totterello, 86 yards. Remember that my heart sank.
Yes.
And then a 39-yard field goal. But you're in the game, 17-7 at half. And I'm sure you're thinking back, wow, 3 red zone trips in the first half and no points.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what we look at coming out of that thing is saying, we faked a field goal into the wind and we busted it and it didn't work for us. And then, you come back and they 2 plays later score an 85-yard touchdown run. That's a killer, for it. And they didn't really have to do anything for it. It's just a touch pass to the guy and he ends up running around and scoring from that distance, and we get sacked or we throw an interception. They kick the field goal off a turnover. So, those are 10 points that are truly just self-inflicted for us coming at half. And I felt like those were on me. So I came into at halftime, told the team, I said, hey, those points are on me. That's my bad. Pick me up. Let's go. I thought we had a good energy coming back out in the third quarter.
You did. It just reinforces what I said at the beginning of this show, that you are almost at that same level despite what other people say. Quickly, early in the fourth, no scoring in the third. Wow, good defense in the last minute here. And then in the fourth, Shramsky finds Mr. Reliable Cole Speaker, set up by a good return by one of the leading returners of combined yards in the nation in Division III, and that's Simonchek.
Yeah, third quarter again, we just couldn't find a way to score with the wind, and we actually used 2 of our 3 timeouts in the third quarter trying to hold to get the wind and keep giving our offense opportunities, and in the end it probably, I don't know, we don't get the ball back at the end of the game, but it probably, to move the ball down 2 scores, but we took our timeouts to go all in with the wind, couldn't get it. Great play design by Coach Frichte, great play call on the touchdown to Cole Speaker. We missed the extra point. We're within 4, and they just come down and on a 3rd down, 3rd and 10, put the dagger in us on the pass there that really was that put it out of reach for us there.
And Max Brower got caught up on tangled
just fell
up
down. Tangled up, fell down.
But overall, again, good job. 56 yards running and only 220, a total of 284. As we conclude this, Rick and I talked about this. No penalties in the first half. It's like, you have got to be kidding me. And in the second half, I think he had like
2.
2 penalties for 21 yards. Now, that sends a powerful message about how well you're coached.
Yeah, our guys do such a good job of understanding what a penalty is. I think that's a big part, understanding what PI is, what a block in the back is, and coaching a lot of that stuff so that they understand. But that's all on the guys, understanding to stay away from those penalties.
Yeah. All right, we're going to step aside for a minute, Coach. When we come back, we're going to have 2 players here on the Mike Schmidt Show. We'll be right back.
360 Real Estate Solutions has the keys to your new home. Introducing the Hub on 6th, rooftop lofted condos for sale. Beautifully designed with open floor plans up to 3 bedrooms. The Hub has what you need for city life, from studios to 3 bedrooms to fit your lifestyle and your pocketbook with the extra touches that matter. A rooftop sports court, bike storage with a washing center, community rooms, storage units, laundry, a pet walk, and a workout room. Get your tour today at hubon6.360.bz. 360 Real Estate Solutions has the keys to
The all-new Honda Fit gives you the flexibility of the Magic Seat with the fuel efficiency you celebrate at the pump. From Honda Motorworks.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda.
The all-new
Since 1897, Schilling Supply Company has been your single-source provider of business solutions and supplies. Their 65,000 square foot facility stocks over 3,000 items ranging from packaging, janitorial, industrial, food processing, safety, and specialty products. Schilling Supply provides the essentials you need to meet your customers' and employees' expectations. Businesses like Gunderson, Quick Trip, Dynamic Recycling, and Badger Corrugating rely on Schilling Supply to deliver the right products at the right time. Schilling Supply Company. Visit on the web or call.
Stunning from any angle, the HR-V is a crossover of style and versatility.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motorworks.
Since 1897, Schilling Supply Company has been your single-source provider of business solutions
Welcome back to the Mike Schmidt Show. We are joined with two players from the backside, Colton Neiman, Noah Schober, two pretty good athletes here on the Mike Schmidt Show. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, two of my guys that get to spend a lot of time with me, that's for sure. These poor guys got to spend a whole lot of time with me in the back end. So really both transfers for us, Colton coming from Carroll and then Schob's coming from Duluth. But, really awesome stories about both of them. I mean, Colton comes here and can't play his first year, has an injury in the summer before our first season here together. Has to sit out that year and come back and just fights his butt off to start last year for us. Has a great end of the season for us, and then comes in as our number one corner this year and has just done an awesome job as a senior. Really cool, really a cool story. And then Schobes comes to us and same kind of story. He just keeps fighting in and doesn't give us reasons not to play him. Just keeps pushing for more time and more opportunities. And he's got them. And we had all those great safeties on our roster last year that were seniors, and now him and AJ are just doing such a great job for us. And Schobes had a heck of a game on Saturday and just keeps getting better for us. And I like that SO next to his name in the program too. That's a good thing.
It is. Well, we talk about both of these guys, by the way, as well as AJ and so on. So start with Coleman from Carroll, Wisconsin Rapids, Lincoln.
Yep.
To Carroll to UWL.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talk about that journey.
So I decided to go down to Carroll University in Waukesha for my first 2 years. I was PT down there, and then I switched to AT again. So kind of mixing up my majors a little bit. But and then after my second year, I realized how expensive a private school is down there. So transferred UW La Crosse because I had toured here in high school, and really liked the area and the scenery and the people here and whatnot, and got in contact with Coach McGlenn and Coach Schmidt, and they welcomed me in with open arms.
Connections here with the Vicroy family, of course.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
With your former AD, now retired. But so you played at Carroll?
Yes, yeah.
But you were you a little bit discouraged with maybe what was going on there?
No, not really. I did enjoy my time down there. It was just kind of it was tough, like I said. Being a private school down there is a little expensive. I didn't want to be buried in debt my whole life, so coming here was just a good decision, I feel, and I'll never regret that.
And we talked a lot about Noah Schober, too, and sophomore from Eau Claire Regis, Duluth. Very familiar with Eau Claire Regis, of course, up there all the time. Regis, up north of Duluth, back south to La Crosse. Yep. What brought you up to Duluth?
So Duluth, I actually went up there. I was a medical redshirt up there, so after recovering from an ACL injury my senior year. So up there I just helped out with practices, worked out with the team and everything like that. And then I talked to the coaches after the year, and they kind of said if I was going to play, it'd be like in the next 3 years, so I decided to transfer. And literally the day after, I'm sitting in the dining hall after I decided to transfer, and I get a text from Coach Schmidt saying he wants me to come visit down here. And I was super happy about that because I was looking at lacrosse right out of high school anyway, so I came down here and just fell in love. So.
Yeah. So go back to your high school days. I'm very familiar with Eau Claire Regis, and there's strength in a variety of sports. Mm-hmm. Multi-sport athlete?
Yep, I played football, and I actually did a little bit of tennis and played hockey there. So.
Okay, good basketball program too.
Yep.
And I suppose if I went back and asked people about you at Lincoln, they would have some good things to say.
Yeah, I played baseball there as well. I started at second base my junior and senior year, and I really enjoyed my time doing that. And as well as football, I started my junior and senior year as a corner my junior year, and actually as a safety my senior year. Collective
breath of sadness when you were out for the point game. It's like,
definitely.
Everybody was like, whoa, that's a big loss.
Yeah, no, I was definitely pretty disappointed. I did all I could that week to heal up my ankle and do what I can and do what the athletic training staff told me, but it's feeling really good now. Didn't seem to hinder me at all during the Oshkosh game. Felt really good, and I'll be good to go this week then too.
Well, with Murphy out, Kissling out, and then you're injured, I mean, it was certainly a breath of fresh air to have you back in. 7 tackles versus Oshkosh. You played very, very well. 23 tackles in the season. Reflect on Oshkosh. Reflect on the season.
I think Oshkosh, they came out. They executed what they needed to do, and kind of like what Coach was saying earlier in the show, that it's just those little things that we just need to make sure that we're executing on to make sure we come out on top. I feel like as for the rest of the season, everything's been going very good. I'm having a lot of fun my senior year. I just want to win out and put it in the hands of the committee for playoffs.
Coming from a defensive back myself, not nearly as gifted as you, that's for sure, or any of your others. I mean, I know the supporting the run, I know pass defense, I know the motor skills and all the things necessary, which I didn't have a lot of them, but tried. But I know the difficulty and multiple formations that you would see against Oshkosh, 50, 60 different formations, misdirection, all kinds of things. Challenge for you in that game, Noah?
I think we do a great job of preparation throughout the week. Coach Janis with our scout team gives us a ton of looks, so just seeing that every day kind of made it pretty easy against Oshkosh to kind of recognize them and see what kind of formation they were in.
So they didn't really fool you on anything? It's like, whoa, what's this?
I wouldn't say no, not really. So we kind of have a really good plan in for them and kind of knew what everything we were looking for. 5
tackles against Oshkosh, 26 on the year. Are you, only as a sophomore, are you where you wanted to be?
Yes, coming in, I knew I had big shoes to fill with Kiss because he's a great competitor and a great captain. So, I mean, I can always make strides to go forward, but right now I'm pretty happy.
Difficulty in being a defensive back, though. Again, supporting the run, your keys, you're playing mostly press, man-to-man. Mm-hmm. So it requires a lot more maybe agility, speed, quickness, reads, and so on than maybe playing zone. Right, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, Colton was matched up a lot on a tight end that's about 100 pounds bigger than he is. Not that much, but probably about 50 pounds bigger than he was. He was matched up on a big physical guy. They put him in the run fit, made him tackle a lot the other day. So, the way that we're structured, these guys got to kind of do it all in the back end, and they don't get a whole lot of help with it. So you're either in the gap, fitting the run on a big tight end and a big tailback coming through as a corner, or you're just kind of all by yourself out in coverage. So it takes you got to have a lot of confidence in what you're doing, got to have a lot of confidence in our scheme and in the rest of the team to kind of go and play fast.
There's a lot of difficulties in playing defense, but one of them, in my view, is open field solo tackles. It's like, whoa, that is highly challenging.
Yeah.
And they both seem to do a good job.
Both did a great job, especially on Saturday for us, and they'll be challenged now this week against Platteville with the same thing. So that'll be great.
And before we end this, again, senior. And you are a recreation management major. Talk about that real quickly and where you're going to go.
Yeah, actually I just switched to recreational management, and I have an outdoor emphasis on top of that as well. Kind of want to go along the lines of, working at a park or something like that. Something outdoors, go be like I had an internship that I was looking at for as a whitewater raft guide out in Montana and stuff like that.
Sounds like a good job.
Be
sitting at a cubicle somewhere, that's for sure. And a biology major. Fast forward few years from now, what are you going to be doing?
Yeah, so both my parents are kind of in the medical field, so I kind of just grew up with that my whole life, and my parents always pushed me, so I want to be like a physician's assistant or go into orthopedics.
Good career too. So, well, you good luck the rest of the season. Stay healthy, my friend. You don't get hurt either. So, and you're doing well, and I'm proud of you. So, all right, we're going to step aside for a minute. When we come back, we will talk about a little bit about the upcoming homecoming game here at UWL. Good job, guys. Excellent.
The all-new Honda Fit gives you the flexibility of the magic seat with the fuel efficiency you celebrate at the pump. From Honda Motorworks.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motorworks.
Stunning from any angle, the HRV is a crossover of style and versatility.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motorworks.
Welcome back to the Mike Schmidt Show here on the campus of UWL. Well, big week, the Quick Trip homecoming game. Been to a lot of homecomings as a student and now a broadcaster. Schedule for the week. Does homecoming impact anything you do?
No, not really. We have a little thing on. We have a pep fest with the students on Friday night with our team and things like that. So that'll be really cool. And then Saturday, there's a lot of stuff, but not for anybody really other than me with it in our program. We have a breakfast for alums in the morning. Then obviously we have the game. After the game, we're actually having a reunion with all of our national championship teams. So all the teams that played in national championship games are all getting back together Saturday night right after the game. We have our Wall of Fame induction ceremony Saturday night. And then a Homecoming for Heroes event here on campus, raising money for veterans in the area. So really, there's a lot of stuff going on, but it will have no effect on our players or preparation. About the only guy that has to do anything is me with it for our alums and the things throughout the community. So it's going to be awesome. Kim's done an awesome job putting it all together for it. So really cool event with Quick Trip sponsoring it.
Exactly. What a good component to have the Hometown for Heroes and then the Wall of Fame at 7 o'clock, by the way, and then the band from 5 to 9, Mitchell Hall, I believe.
Yep.
And, of course, the star of the band, Josh Buckle.
You got it, $3 and change coming at you live from Mitchell Hall on Saturday night. Yeah, it'll be great, and that's open to everybody. Come on down. We'll have drinks and food, admissions free. Come on down and have a good time.
But there is a game, too, that day.
That's what's most important to me with it, for sure, yes.
Well, the first time UWL, the first time they had a homecoming at Stout, it was in 1913. They didn't even have a game, by the way. We talked about that. Thought that was interesting.
Yes.
Well, anyway, a look at Platteville. 4-3 and 2-2 in the WIAC. This really shocked me, I must admit. I looked at it several times. Lost to Eau Claire 40-16. It's like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
At home.
I think that was a pretty surprising score for everybody out there, and I'm sure for them as well. And I think the first time that somebody told me about the score, I asked, "Wait, are you sure it wasn't flipped?" With it, I asked Colton that right after the game. Like, no, it's got to be flipped, right? But hey, I think you look at it, and they're going to be ready to play. You watch the tape, and they just have a lot of turnovers and just things that went wrong for them. It wasn't they didn't play that poorly, they didn't play that badly, but they'll be ready to play. I mean, they suffered a huge loss in it. Mark Johnson, one of the most dynamic receivers in the league, one of the best players in the league, is going to be out. He went down in the second quarter. Appears not to. He won't be back against us with it either. So tough loss for them. Really a tough loss for those guys, and you could just see that. The way the game was going, and then that kind of really took a lot of momentum out of their sails. And then Eau Claire just played really well down the stretch. They block a punt for a touchdown. They get a defensive score. And so when you have those kind of things kind of snowball on you, tough to rebound from it. So they'll be back. They'll be ready to play against us. That's still a really good football team that we're going to play on Saturday, and they're going to be ready to go.
Exactly. You beat them 27-20 last year, but just to build on what you said, 7 turnovers. This surprised me. Eau Claire returned an interception and a block kick for it.
Yes.
Touchdown, 4 interceptions, and I mean, must have been the roof caved in. Besides the wind blowing 45 miles
the
an hour.
wind was a huge part of it, and just things just got going on them badly. But I mean, that's a good football team that's played well and put up a ton of points against River Falls for sure, and played really well against points. So we know we got our hands full certainly on Saturday afternoon here.
Well, exactly. They scored 52 points against River Falls. Real quickly, what are the viewers? What are the people that are? Hopefully, it's like the 3,000 people again, by the way. But what should we look for?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to run what they've ran. Coach Emmendorfer runs kind of what he runs, and it has for a long, long time, and it's going to be what it is with a few little wrinkles in for each team. And so you kind of know what they're going to be doing. They just have good players doing it. They have a really tall, physical kid on the outside, David Allender, that's on the outside for them. That's a real tall, physical wide receiver for them on the offense side. Again, they're going to lose Mark Johnson, who's one of the better players in the league, certainly an all-conference wide receiver. That's going to be a tough loss for them, but they're big and physical up front. Sean Studer's leading the league in rushing their tailback. So offensively, they're really good. They're really dynamic, and they'll have a lot of stuff. And then defensively, They play a really funky defense, and we have 3 consecutive kind of weird, very different defenses coming up here now that are very unconventional the rest of the way. They'll have a stand-up guy walked up in the A gap, kind of roaming around in there and doing a lot of different things. So really different on defense, but still really big, really physical team that's going to be here Saturday afternoon.
So as we close the show, an increased challenge for your offensive line.
Without a doubt, it's a big challenge for the offensive line. They'll have the biggest amount of preparation that they got to kind of get where there's not going to be a lot of doubles, which is what they're doing. They're trying to take away double teams, trying to get you to down block people, and then let their guys on the second and third levels just run around. So big challenge up front for our guys, and it's certainly a big challenge for our secondary, and really need to shore up and eliminate the big plays.
And again, we will be broadcasting the game live here on KQEG. Around the campus, women's soccer last home game on Wednesday versus Carleton. They're 14-2-1, one of the top teams in the
Getting
nation.
ready for the playoffs, they are. Yep.
Men's and women's basketball started second week. Coach Dernbach is here.
Coach Dernbach, just what a job that guy's doing with the basketball team.
He is.
Wow,
yeah.
jeez.
Well, him and Karen, too, on the women's side.
Yes.
Wall of Fame, we talked about that, homecoming celebration. And so it's a big week. I remember those things going on when I was a student, and so I'm excited. Nice weather and so on. Well,
yep.
I hope you enjoyed this week's Mike Schmidt Show. I want to thank our sponsors again for doing such a great job each week to bring you the show. We'll be here next week talking Eagle football with Coach Schmidt. Remember, the show is replayed on Tuesdays at 6:30. Our next show back here is Monday, the 29th. We'll take an in-depth look at the Platteville game and thoughts on the last home game against River Falls.
It's that time of the year already.
So I'm excited for that. So until next week, for Mike Schmidt, I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you have a good week, and hopefully you'll be here on campus this week for our homecoming celebrations. Be at the game on Saturday at 1 p.m. Thanks for joining us.
You've been watching the Mike Schmidt Football Show on KQEG TV. The Mike Schmidt Football Show is brought to you by Honda Motorworks, your electric and hybrid headquarters at 4th and Cass. By Schilling Supply, serving businesses with critical supplies since 1897. By Schumacher Kish Cremation and Funeral Services in La Crosse, La Crescent, and Onalaska. By 360 Real Estate Solutions, they've got the keys to your new home. And by Market & Johnson, Western Wisconsin's construction leader, adding value to everything they do. Join us next week at this same time for the Mike Schmidt Football Show.